Let's dive right in, folks. The night is young and it's brimming with juicy new tidbits from our favorite pair, the Duke and Duchess of Sausages. You might be wondering, what's cooking with them this time? I'll tell you what, they're up to their usual antics, trying to spice up their brand amid a flurry of recent criticisms. Now here's something that may surprise you. Despite all the drama, guess who hasn't changed their paparazzi agency? That's right, our beloved Duke and Duchess. They're still hanging on to Backgrade. And yes, we're talking about the same Backgrade from that infamous, non-existent 2-hour chase in New York. Yep, the one where they didn't hand over a single snapshot to our hapless pair. As we stroll down memory lane, let's pause for a second and consider the situation. Picture this, if you will. Perhaps the Duke and Duchess should take a minute to huddle up with their consultants and revisit some history lessons. It's high time someone reminded them that their English royal prerogatives don't apply over here. That's right, we fought a revolution to shrug off such notions. This is a hot tip I received from a reliable source deep in the mix. So, while it's cringeworthy enough to see them struggling to stay relevant in this day and age, trust me, they're not great at math. It's even more painfully amusing to see them resort to regular folks with smartphones for their paparazzi shots. I mean, why mingle with the common folk when you can rely on them for your photo ops, right? But, and this is the real kicker, it gets even better. They're crawling back to Backgrade, the same agency that once publicly embarrassed them for their photos. Sad, isn't it? Well, that's the scoop from my inside source. The real reason they're sticking with the same paparazzi agency? No one else wants to touch them with a 10-foot pole. The folks at WME, tasked with managing Meghan's image, are trying to keep things as painless as possible within their budget. It's like they're on a diet, a starter pack kind of diet, if you will. Now let's switch gears and take a trip to the world of social media. Here's a fun observation from my Twitter comrades concerning our Duchess. It seems that she's been forgetting a vital part of her daily routine, ironing. Yes, you heard it right. Ironing. It's as if she's unaware of this wonderful invention that can keep your clothes wrinkle-free. Heck, there are even models where you just have to slip your shirt or blouse onto the device and let it do the magic. It's child's play, really. Or she could always delegate the task to an intern. There's always a solution if you look for it, right? Well, now hold on to your hats, folks, because we're about to dive even deeper into this rabbit hole. I know some of you might be wondering if there's some hidden message in our dear Duchess's crumpled clothes. Is it a statement, perhaps? As someone who appreciates modern art for its capacity to stir conversation and provoke thought, I've tried to decipher this sartorial enigma myself. The big question here is, who wore it better, Meghan or a wrinkled piece of paper? Let's indulge in a wild theory for a moment, shall we? Think about it this way. Paper comes from wood comes from trees, and trees are the pillars of our forests. So, could Meghan's crumpled attire be an elaborate public service announcement about the environment? Picture Harry lending his voice to a moving montage of environmental disasters, with a crumpled piece of paper as the central symbol. What a powerful imagery. A piece of paper, crinkled and battered, symbolizing the destructive force that threatens our lush forests. The irony isn't lost on us as it sits there, a mere remnant of its once mighty arboreal origins, silently screaming about the rampant disregard of mankind, a civilization that churns out endless reams of paper without a moment's hesitation. Look closely, and you might see its etches and creases as battle scars, each line telling the sorrowful tale of its fallen comrades. Or maybe, just maybe, Meghan can't be bothered to iron her blouse. Who's to say, really? But we digress. Let's switch gears and chat about our good friend Harry. It seems like he's been unrelenting in his efforts to have gingerbread crowned as America's new darling. And speaking of home and its familiar surroundings, they've been quite hush-hush about their home office, haven't they? That poster of the California bear comes to mind, and so does Harry's ubiquitous California cap. I mean, it's no secret that public relations is an art of working with what you have at hand, and I'm sure WME is doing its utmost to tailor their appeal to an audience that they believe might warm up to the sausages, or at least not be as chilly as the UK folks. And the choice is pretty obvious, isn't it? It just has to be sunny California. Can you picture Harry donning a Texas cap? No? Me neither. But just when you thought it couldn't get any more intriguing, in walks the Rolling Stone magazine. Now that's something I didn't see coming. The Rolling Stone, known for being one of the most progressive media outlets out there, throwing shade at America's favorite biracial couple? Wait, I might have overstepped there. Let's reel it back a bit. Can you believe that? That's right, folks, you heard it correctly. The headline proclaims, Meghan Markle and Prince Harry are in their flop era. The phrase flop era caught my attention. It suggests that they're going through a phase, a stumble on their life's journey, from which they might bounce back into a more successful era. It's like they're on a roller coaster ride of public perception, going from the Z-list controversial customs phase to the rundown royals era, then tumbling into the vapid victims period. What's next in line? Only time will tell, my friends. But here's the real meat and potatoes of the issue. Harry and Meghan are treading water because their entire brand revolves around their royal feud. It's like watching a never-ending soap opera that has run out of plot twists. With the feud now in a stalemate, they're running out of fresh material to feed their narrative. Remember Prince Harry's wildly successful book that took us on a deeply personal journey, revealing scandalous details from his childhood up to the reign of Queen Camilla and his own coming-of-age experiences? The aftermath of such an explosive tell-all leaves little room for more revelations. That's the snag, folks. When you throw open the curtains of your life, revealing every nook and cranny, there's not much else left to share. Writing an autobiography akin to a soul-bearing confessional isn't something I'd recommend unless you're a seasoned veteran of life's battles or wildly successful, and Harry fits neither bill. Aging like a fine wine is one thing, but that's not quite what we're talking about here. Let's shift our focus a bit to Canal's comments. Despite the Daily Fail painting a picture of laughter and joy, there's an intriguing element that's worth noting. Back when they were working royals, you couldn't keep them apart, always holding hands, constantly engaged in public displays of affection. Isn't it fascinating, folks? Back in their royal days, they were all about public displays of love, letting the world in on their affection for each other. Now that they're just ordinary folks like you and me, it seems like those hands that were once inseparable are now comfortably ensconced in their own pockets. What happened, you might wonder? Did the cameras stop rolling? Or did Backgrid playfully decide to add some spice to their photo shoot by throwing in a curveball, knowing full well how the couple would react? You know, we'll do your shoot, pretend like nothing ever went wrong between us, and then we'll sneak in this picture just for fun. They can always argue that the Daily Fail somehow got a hold of the picture illicitly. I mean, phone hacking is a common accusation these days, right? But amidst all this intrigue, it's heartening to see some familiar faces. And by that, I don't mean Harry and Meghan. Rather, I'm talking about Harry's well-known, awkward lip-pressing expression that looks like he's wrestling with a bout of constipation. It's an old friend from my body language guy days, and I'd almost missed it. And Meghan, the old Markle smirkle almost made a comeback, but it seems the Duchess was trying hard to keep it under wraps. If you look closely, you can even spot Meghan's fingers twisting anxiously, just like old times. Did you notice any other telltale signs in these pictures? Drop your observations in the comments, folks. I'm all ears. You know, my dear readers, there's nothing I enjoy more than crafting these daily articles for you. And the simplest way for you to keep me inspired is by hitting those like and subscribe buttons. It's as easy as that. Always remember the two words that matter the most: much love and bliss.